Hey everybody, it is your girl here, GenuinelyDivine, coming at you today with your 2020 predictions based on your sun, moon, or rising sign. In this video, I will be using the influence of Jupiter. As a disclaimer, you guys, I cannot predict your whole entire chart based on your sun, moon, and rising, but to get the most accurate reading and understanding of the theme of your life for 2020, you may want to check your rising sign. Now, if you don't know your rising or your moon sign, I will put a birth chart link in the drop down box below. And for those of you who don't know, Jupiter stays in a particular zodiac sign for an entire year. Jupiter is the planet of luck, abundance, and expansion. It is also the planet of religions and philosophical views. People look at their lives and they're like, oh my God, she's so blessed, or he is so blessed. That's usually a person with very strong Jupiter influence in their birth natal. And you can look at it as luck, or you can look at it as a blessing, whatever the case may be, and however you wish to view it. So in my video, I'm going to be sharing with you the areas that's going to be most affected by Jupiter's influence. It's going to be the area in which you can receive the most joy, the most abundance, the most peace, and the most blessings in that area of your life. So when things are kind of like starting to go to the left, you can actually look to these areas of your life because they are going to bring you a little bit more peace, a little bit more understanding, and a lot more blessings. Now, starting off, we're going to start with Aries. Aries, Jupiter will be transiting your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of careers. It is the house of your father's teaching or your dominant parents' teachings. It is also the house of our legacy, creating legacies, building legacy so that we can leave something behind for our next generation, our children and our children's children, and just really building that status. That's what the 10th house is all about. It's all about our career, things that we do outside of the home to bring in substantial or bring in some type of income. So with your 10th house being activated, Aries, by Jupiter, the planet of luck and abundance and joy, so I can just see you being extremely happy, just really being overwhelmingly successful in your career sector. For those of you who are looking forward to a promotion, it's definitely something that can happen for you at this particular point. Now, another factor that we must include is that we have to also think about the aspects going to support Jupiter in your birth natal. Now, however, if it's getting malefic aspects, it may be a little bit different. Jupiter will work hard to bring you blessings and luck and that joy. But if it's having difficult aspects, it may be difficult for Jupiter to turn that, turn those favors for you. So you definitely need to look at the aspects in your actual birth natal. But Jupiter alone, just really getting those benefits, getting that benefic aspects, is going to definitely give you a lot of luck, a lot of abundance, a lot of joy in your career sector. 10th house also aspects the 4th house. The 4th house is the house of our home, our mothers, tradition, just that home life. And a lot of you guys may really, be buying a new home, or maybe be making some new renovations to your home, or whatever the case may be. A lot of you guys may have a lot of things going on in your home, and also a lot of you guys may be working from home. Maybe some of you guys may decide to leave your career and just kind of like do things from home. Or a lot of you guys, maybe your boss is telling you you can work from home now because there's no need for you to come to the office. A lot of different things that's dealing with your career is going to also affect your home. So a lot of you guys would definitely be moving into entrepreneurship where you do work from home, so that's going to be very positive for you in 2020, Aries. That is going to be a major thing for you. Career is going to be a major thing for you, and you're going to have a lot of abundance, a lot of joy in your career sector. Now, whenever the 10th and 4th house come into play, your 1st and your 7th house is also going to be activated. These are your angular houses. In astrology, the angular houses, they all support one another. So your 1st house of self is also going to be activated, Aries. This is your natural ruling house. You dominate this house. So Aries, you're definitely going to be being that pioneer. You're going to be that leader. You're going to really show it in a big way, you know, where you're being a little bit egotistical in 2019. This year, you're going to do it in a way where you're not going to be so egotistical about it. You're just going to naturally be that leader and just naturally do it in a way that you don't upset a whole lot of people, you know. So you're going to really step into your own in 2020, especially when it's dealing with yourself, your career, your home, you know, and also other people, your spouse. The 7th house is also activated for you, you know, relationships and partnerships, going into partnerships with other people, you know, working together to build a business, also marriage, you know, lots of documents, lots of contracts, a lot of things are going to be happening for you in 2020, Aries, and it's all centered around career, yourself, and your home. So that is a major theme for you in 2020. Now, your challenges for 2020, Aries, is going to be not to overwhelm yourself and not to become too obsessed with making money. You know, don't allow it to consume you. Just definitely take your time and just do what you feel is necessary for you to move your career forward, but don't overwhelm yourself with a whole lot of work, okay? Because sometimes we can have so much fun and we have all these great opportunities coming our way and we accept them all, but then we find ourselves feeling a little bit overwhelmed with too many responsibilities. And Aries, you are a fire sign. Freedom is what you love best. So make sure when you are choosing, you know, new projects or new things to do that's affiliated with your career, make sure you are making wise decisions. But overall, Aries, it looks like your month is going to be absolutely amazing. Now, of course, every time something good happens for us, something else has to come and kind of like throw that off just a little bit, because Saturn will actually move into your 11th house. Your 11th house is the house of what? It is the house of your organizations and groups, you know, your friends, your friendships, and all that great stuff, your hopes and your wishes also. So like one thing about it, I'm not gonna really talk about Saturn in this video, but I did want to tell you this, Aries, because I feel like it's just really relevant to you guys. People who you thought were your friends, they're gonna actually show their true colors in 2020. They're gonna see you growing so much and you're having all this success and all this greatness happening for you, and they're not going to know how to process this. In the process of them not wanting to see you glow up like this, they're going to actually hate on you to a certain extent, and you're going to really realize that they were never ever your true friend. So that is something to be aware of in 2020, Aries. But whatever the case may be, losing friends and gaining success, that's fine, you know, because those who are true and dear to you, they will never leave you in spite of any and all situations. So overall, Aries, I just definitely see you guys having a wonderful month, and I wish you the best of luck in 2020. Taurus, for 2020, Jupiter will be transiting your 9th house. The 9th house is the house of travel. It's the house of higher learning, higher education. It is the house of philosophical views. This is the house that Jupiter naturally rules, right? But however, I know a lot of people think that, oh, you know, if a planet is in the house that it naturally rules, you'd be like, okay, so you know it's gonna give the best results here. Not necessarily. Think about yourself. Let's just say when you're at home, sometimes if you don't feel like doing something, then you don't do it because it's your home. But when you go to somebody else's house, he's like, you know what, I don't even think I'm this lazy slob or something, so let me get up and let me do this. You work harder. So that's kind of like what happens here with Jupiter being in the 9th house for Taurus. Jupiter is comfortable here. So as far as you really yielding any type of major expansion or major luck or anything like that in the house of higher learning and education. I don't feel like it'll be a whole big theme for you, but I do feel like when it comes to your philosophical views or your thinking when it comes to religious matters and things of that nature, I think there will be an expansion there. But as far as travel, you know, really traveling far, it could happen, definitely, because it all depends on the aspects in your birth natal chart. But I also just see you, just for the main part, for me, I just see you guys really just being big on communication, and it's just a lot of talking, you know, because the 9th house also aspects the 3rd house. So I just see a lot of communication about, you know, philosophical views, you know, religious point, you know, politics and things of that nature. A lot of talk about things of like, you know, things like that throughout the year. Just a lot of, you know, teaching, you know, or learning. You may be learning or studying a new religion or something of that nature. Those of you who are in school, maybe you may take on a course in mythology, or, you know, something that's dealing with, you know, just something dealing with religious or religious matters or politics. So maybe a lot of you guys, we'll do something like that, maybe an expansion in you wanting to increase your knowledge, or there will be an expansion in knowledge, you know, learning about different things that actually matters, you know, opposed to, you know, really just looking at the material world. And another thing, you know, so when your 9th and your 3rd house is activated, of course, your 6th and your 12th house is also activated, because these are your cadent houses and they all just kind of work together. So the 12th house is the house of isolation, the house of spirituality. So again, I do see you being really big and really strong in your faith. And if you have been lacking in 2019, I feel like this is the year where you're gonna be like, I need to go to church more. You know, I need to, you know, get out and I need to give more. You know, I need to do more. You know, I need to just do more of service, you know, become more of a servant unto the divine, unto God, you know. So I can really see you guys being really big on your religion in 2020. Also, you know, the 6th house is the house of service, and with that being said, you know, the 6th house and the 12th house, they work together, you know. 6th house is all about service, you know, service unto man. And then 12th house is all about the ultimate server of God. So a lot of service, a lot of religious, you know, type of things going on. A lot of you guys are going to be extremely active in your church, extremely active in your anything dealing with religion. It's just gonna be a huge theme for you, Taurus. A huge theme for you. Like maybe 2019 took you through a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, and in 2020 you just really want to move closer to the divine so that you can kind of like find that peace, because that's where you're gonna really find peace and that solace, where you can just really relax and have that, you know, mindset that greater is to come for you. So it's going to be a huge thing for you in 2020. Anytime things are just really feeling like they're just moving to the left for you, Taurus, you need to rely on your spirituality. You need to rely on the divine, whatever spiritual practices that you use to get you through these times, to motivate you and to inspire you. You're going to need to rely on that in 2020. Religion is going to be a huge thing for you. So your challenges for 2020 is just really finding what works for you when it comes to, you know, your motivation, your inspiration. You know, overall, you're gonna have a wonderful month because your main focus is going to really be on soul searching. So with that being said, Taurus, I wish you the very best in 2020. Gemini, hi Gemini. Jupiter will be transiting your 8th house in 2020, Gemini. The 8th house is the house of death, sex, rebirthing, transformation, taxes, rebirthing, the occult, taboo, anything that's dealing with taboo things is all found in the 8th house. Now, the 8th house also aspects the second house. The second house is the house of our self-worth. It is the house of our materialistic gains, our materialistic wealth. It is also the house of our earned income through our hard work, you know, through our careers, basically. These are the succeedant houses, and all of your succeedant houses will actually be activated because they all kind of work together. So with these 8th house, with Jupiter transiting your 8th house, there's going to be an expansion on 8th house type activities. You know, maybe some of you guys are going to expand your horizons when it comes to things that are known to be taboo, or things to be known to be mystical. You know, maybe some of you guys will move into mysticism, or really looking into becoming a part of a mystical group, an occult or something. You know, whatever the case may be, is going to be something that's going to be big in your life. It's going to be a major thing for you, because wherever Jupiter is, it expands. It makes it huge. It's a big deal. So it's going to shine a light on a lot of things that takes place in the 8th house. This house is a major house for transformation. It is the house of transformations, transformations that we have no control over. And a lot of times it's more like the tower type situation, where it just happens abruptly and it's like we have no other choice but to transform. So a lot of those type things will be happening for you, Gemini, in 2020. So get yourself prepared for that. Also, your 5th and your 11th house is also going to be activated. So although you may have these issues with some of these 8th house situation and transformations, there are gonna be some transformations when it comes to your dating life. You know, the 5th house type things, your fun. You may be having lots of more fun when it comes to dating and things of that nature. And so that could also affect what can happen, you know, in the 8th house, because the 8th house represents sex. So you definitely need to be careful if you are, you know, being a serial dater and you're out and you're having, you know, a lot of different people in a relationship, because this is the year that it can actually be exposed, you know, what you're actually doing in secret. It can actually kind of like come out a little bit, because of the simple fact, you know, 8th house is just like, Jupiter is going to be shining a light on that 8th house activity. And then, you know, it's kind of like Jupiter kind of like puts things kind of like on display, you know, like it's about abundance, it's about, you know, blessings, it's about, you know, just that happy-go-lucky situation, right? And it affects us in a big way. So a lot of times, if you're mingling a lot of relationships or something like that, you know, maybe somebody will be like, you know what, you know, I'm just not gonna talk to you anymore. I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. And then maybe that was the person you really liked, and then you have to go through this transformation where you now you don't get to be with this person, and it's just a huge heartbreak for you. So that can be some type things that can happen for you in 2020. So be careful if you really like somebody and you're dating, if you're dating someone and you really like this person, you know, just kind of like, you know, try to let them know what's going on and let them decide if they want to be a part of that. Okay. Your 11th house is also activated. So groups, activities, social organizations are all activated, where you guys are definitely going to have a lot of fun, where you guys are really going to just like a lot of your hopes and wishes are gonna kind of like be granted, but at the same token, you know, it's gonna have a, you know, it still be in a way of dealing with 8th house type issue. Now you will be getting some things. Your 11th house is activated, which means that you will be getting, you know, some of your hopes and your wishes coming true, dealing with a lot of organizations, groups, and just being, you know, a huge on your humanitarianism, you know, just not, it won't be a major theme in your life, but that house will be activated because your cadent houses, they kind of all work together in your astrological chart. So yeah, some things with groups and organizations, your dating, also your self-worth and money that you make on your own through your career and also through other people, because the 8th house also represents inheritances and things of that nature. So overall, Gemini, with your cadent houses actually being activated in 2020, you can look for a roller coaster type situation where, you know, you're in groups, a lot of groups, maybe you're partying a lot, you're having fun, you're dating a lot, but then you have these abrupt type situations that happen in your life that you have to deal with, and maybe you're dealing with it through a way of just like dating or just joining different groups, or maybe groups that actually help you with whatever you have going on in that 8th house type situations. So be aware of that. So in 2020, when things are not going the way you want them to go, they're kind of like going to the left, you definitely need to just really, you know, look within yourself and just know that whatever is happening, it doesn't last always. So your major challenges, their challenges for 2020 for me is going to be you just really accepting that life, we go through transformations, and that's just a part of life. But overall, Gemini, I just see you guys just really, you know, just learning to just actually cope with life in 2020. Cancers, hi Cancers, and welcome to your 2020 predictions. In the year of 2020, Cancer, Jupiter will be transiting your 7th house. Wow, this is kind of wonderful. The 7th house is the house of relationships, other people, you know, partnerships, marriage, your spouse, you know, documents and contracts and things of that nature. So Cancer, this is a cardinal house. So this is the energy that you're used to. You are a cardinal sign, so all of your cardinal houses will actually be activated in 2020 and aspected by Jupiter. Now, how wonderful is that, Cancer? The 7th house also looks at the 1st house. The 1st house is the house of yourself, your self-image, what you project onto the world, what the world perceive you to be. It's just a wonderful placement, a wonderful house to have Jupiter aspecting. So for a lot of you guys, your relationships will definitely be strengthened. Relationship is going to be a grand theme for you in 2020. So a lot of you guys will actually be moving into a more committed relationship, like a marriage. A lot of you guys will be moving into partnerships with other people, and you know, that's related to business, because you already know that when the angular houses are activated, your 10th house is also activated, and the 10th house is the house of your careers, as well as your 4th house, you know, your house of home and tradition. So there can definitely be a marriage going on there, or you know, somebody moving in with you, or you moving in with somebody. However, whatever the case may be, is going to be something that's related to the home and as well as relationships, you know. So the only thing that I can put together with home and relationship status and other people is what? A marriage or a commitment. So your relationship status is going to be a huge theme for you in 2020. Also yourself, Cancer, you're gonna be like, you know, really taking on some of that pioneering type spirit, like an Aries almost, because you have all this cardinal energy working in your favor in your chart, you know, working with Jupiter, the planet of abundance, luck, blessings, you know, just philosophical views and things of that nature. You're just gonna really just take on a brand new look, you know, a new look for yourself. You're gonna be concerned about what you're looking like, you know, how do people see me? Do they think this look good? You know, I feel good, you know. So a lot of those things are gonna be really taking place in 2020 for you, but your main theme is going to be relationship status, partnerships, you know. So a lot of you guys may actually move into a business, your own business, you know, starting something with someone, you know. Maybe you're gonna, you know, have some investors, people who believe in you and just willing to invest in you, you know, or you're gonna be willing to invest in someone, and together is going to be something that is going to turn out to be amazing. So if you've been thinking about starting your own business or doing something, you know, partnering with someone, this is a great opportunity to go ahead and do that in 2020, because it will prove to be extremely successful for you. Now, of course, if you have malefic aspects in your birth natal, some things will change, you know. But if you have benefic aspects going on in your birth natal, things are going to work out absolutely wonderful you, especially in the angular houses. That's the beginning of things, you know. New beginnings are definitely on the horizon for you. New beginnings in your relationships, you know, new beginnings with a new look, you know, a new fresh look for you, you know, new beginnings in your career, you know, the start of something new, you know, new beginnings in your home. So some of you guys may actually buy a home, you know, maybe move to a new space or a new location. A lot of you guys, a lot of things may be going on, like a newfound relationship with your mom. You know, if you guys have been having turmoil or been having some situations or disagreements with one another, it's gonna be a time where you guys are actually going to, you know, have that new beginning where you can kind of like understand each other, and maybe you guys gonna see things from a more philosophical point of view and kind of like settle your differences. So your year, so overall Cancer, I see your year just being absolutely fantastic, especially when it comes to your relationships, you know, your career, you know, all those great things that we actually place the most focus on anyway. These places, these areas of your life are going to just be blessed in 2020. Challenges in 2020, Cancer, it will be just allowing things to actually take place. Let it happen, you know, don't fight it. Just let it take place. Let it happen for you. Don't say, you know what, let me just wait, you know, don't allow your mood swings to, you know, knock you out of something that is going to prove to be absolutely amazing for you in 2020. So Cancer, I wish you the very best in 2020. Leo, in 2020, Jupiter will be transiting your 6th house in 2020. The 6th house is all about our daily work routines, you know, our routines, our hygiene, our service, you know, just basic things like that actually. So with Jupiter being here, Jupiter brings abundance, joy, and expansion. So in these areas, your service will actually be expanded, you know. Maybe you have to like really help a loved one a lot. So it's like, you know, your service unto those like your spouse or those your people you work with, you know, maybe your duties may increase, you know, maybe your daily routine may increase somehow or some way because of the simple fact of different things that's, you know, taking effect in your life. Now the 6th house also aspects the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of isolation. It is the house of illusions, delusions, secret enemies, and things of that nature. So some of you guys may have someone that's dealing with issues, or you can be dealing with issues that causes you to go into isolation, some type of hiding, or just some type of way where you don't want the world to see what's truly going on. And in the process of doing this, your duties, your service is actually increased by, you know, having to take care of this person, or this person having to take care of you. So I just can see a lot of that taking place in 2020 for you guys. I feel like a lot of you guys will actually, you know, rely a lot on your spirituality, you know, your religious views, because Jupiter is also a very philosophical planet. Also, the 12th house is a very spiritual house as well, the ultimate servers of God. So I feel like a lot of you guys will be doing a lot of work in church, or just really attending a lot of services, you know, because this is where you're gonna find the most peace, the most solace, you know, for, you know, to get through the difficult times that you probably were dealing with in 2019, but they're also kind of like following you a little bit over into 2020. But overall, you know, I just definitely can see, you know, your communication getting better. Also, just really being really focused on your religion, because, you know, these are your cadent houses. Your cadent houses will actually be activated. They all kind of work together. So communication, you know, your electronics and things of that nature, you would definitely want to make sure, you know, that you ensure all of your electronics, please, you know, because of the simple fact that Mercury rules the 3rd house, and just really having, you know, Jupiter to go through here. If there's malefic aspects here, you can actually stand to tear up a lot of things, like dropping your phone and breaking it, you know, or tearing up things, you know, that you got to replace. But if Jupiter is very well aspected in your birth natal chart, you will actually stand to gain some of those things. Or you just may have some minor tears, because the 3rd house is not going to be a major thing for you. It is definitely going to be your 6th house that is going to be the major theme for you. So a lot of service, you know, paying attention to your health, you know, your workout routines, you know, just dealing with working on your own health, because maybe 2019 took you through a very difficult time, and now in 2020 you really need to, you know, try to get your health back, not either physically or mentally. You just really want to just get yourself back to that happy place, back to that place where you feel the most comfortable, and that is definitely something that's going to be a grand theme for you in 2020. Challenges that I see for you is having to like give yourself so much to others in 2020, you know, being of service to others, you know, and it's a challenge for you to a certain extent, but at the same token, it's going to be something that's going to also reward you later on in the year as the year progresses. So just go through it. I can almost promise you, Leo, that your blessings will soon come through. I promise you that, because Jupiter is going to work diligently, very diligently, to make sure that you have some luck, you have some blessings coming your way. Now, when things feel like they're just going to the left, Leo, just rely on your religion, your spiritual practices, because this is going to bring you the most peace in 2020. And I wish you the best of luck in 2020, Leo. Virgo, Jupiter will be transiting your 5th house in 2020. Okay, first of all, number 5 is such a lucky number, right? And the 5th house also aspects the 11th house. Like, oh, that's so cool, right? So actually, Virgos, your 5th house is the fun house. It is the house of dating. It is the house of children, and children are always so jovial, like, right? They're like happy no matter what's going on. They're just happy because they don't know to be sad about anything, right? So the dating house, this is the house of entertainment. You know, this is a very fun house. This is a happy house. And to have Jupiter, the planet of luck, expansion, abundance, philosophical views, and all those great things, to be here, it actually just increases this house. It expands this house. And so to have, for you in 2020, Virgo, you're gonna have lots and lots of fun, especially when it comes in terms of dating, a lot of entertainment where your spouse or your significant other is going to really entertain you. Like, you're gonna have so much fun together, or you're gonna just entertain one another. Lots of fun on the horizons for you guys. The 5th house aspects in the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of our hopes, our wishes, our dreams come true in this house. And to have the planet of luck, abundance, and blessings, you know, and just expansion to be here. Our groups, our organizations, our humanitarianism, all those type of things will actually be really expanded in 2020. So you can find yourself participating in a lot of group activities, having fun, and just enjoying it. And I feel like a lot of you Virgos are gonna meet your significant other in a group setting or something like that, you know, because you are gonna be out mingling and just being a part of all these different organizations. I just feel like you guys are gonna meet someone, and I just feel like it's just gonna be amazing, and they're just gonna wipe you off of your feet and just really make you feel like oh my God, am I living a dream? So I really just can see all those great things happening for you in 2020, Virgo. Now, actually, all of your succeeding houses will actually be activated. So your 8th house will also be activated, the house of transformations and inheritances, you know, things like that. Your 8th house of transformation. So there's going to be transformations for you, but I feel like you're going to be transformed in your dating life, you know, how you're, you know, having fun. You're going to be transformed in a way of where you're, you know, being like a stick in the mud type personality. You're going to be more like just having fun and happy-go-lucky type personality. Also your 2nd house of self-worth, I feel like you're gonna really just feel like, you know, a lot better about yourself. You know, Virgo is a sign of improvement, where they're always constantly, you know, trying to improve themselves. But I just feel like in 2020 you're gonna be pleased with who you are, and you're just gonna feel like you're gonna be real big on, you know, knowing who you are and accepting yourself just the way you are. Your self-worth is just gonna actually be expanded, you know, to a point of where you just have this confidence, this burst of confidence, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of you or say about you. You're just gonna have this burst of confidence, and everyone is going to see it, because and I think that all of this confidence is gonna come from that 5th house, because of all the dating and the fun and this person that you meet, you know, through social organizations or through work or whatever the case may be. I just feel like this person is going to make you feel extremely special, and that is going to really boost your confidence, and it's going to make you feel really good about yourself. So in 2020, Virgo, with Jupiter being there and, you know, all this expansion and all this greatness, I just see you guys having a wonderful month, especially in terms of dating, because that's going to be the major thing for you guys. Even you married Virgos are still going to be dating each other. You know, you're going to be going out on dates like, you know, like you guys, it's going to feel like you guys just met, you know, like it did in the beginning. So I definitely see some wonderful things taking place for you, Virgo, in 2020. So go ahead, get yourself together, go ahead and get your wardrobe together, because you're going to be going out on a lot of dates. It doesn't matter if you're married or not, you're going to go on a lot of dates, okay? And it's going to be so much fun in 2020. The only challenges that I can think of for you guys in 2020 is to not overanalyze things. Do not allow your mind to take over matter, okay? Like, just really allow things to just happen freely. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink anything. Just let it happen naturally and freely. So overall, Virgo, your month looked pretty fantastic to me, and I wish you the best of luck in 2020. Libras. Hi, Libras. Jupiter will be transiting your 4th house in 2020. Now, this is a super duper awesome house to have Jupiter transit. Now, 4th house is all about our home, our family, our tradition, you know, our mothers, you know. So a lot of you Libras will be thinking about your mom. You know, maybe there's an issue with your mom. Maybe your mom is going through a difficult situation right now where you actually have to help your mom. A lot of you guys may move back with your mom. A lot of you guys may be making renovations to your home, you know, moving into a new home, or actually adding new people to your home, because the 4th house also aspects the 7th house, because this is an angular house. So your 7th house will also be activated with other people. The 4th house also looks at the 10th house. The 10th house is the house of our careers, you know, our legacy, our dominant parent teachings. You know, maybe your mom was a dominant parent for some of you guys, and now she's going through this difficult transit, and you definitely want to be the one to help her. So a lot of you guys may think about moving back home, but somehow you may be taking care of your mom. Somehow your mom may even move in with you in 2020, because that is something that you want, because you want to take care of your mom. Some of you guys, it just can be, you know, it can actually be a marriage where you actually you incorporate a spouse into your life, you know, because the 7th house is all about other people, spouses, partnerships, you know, marriages, contracts, and things of that nature. Also, you guys, so your 1st house is also going to be activated, the house of self. So you guys will definitely be thinking about yourself a lot and things that really matters to you. And for you, Libra is going to be your home life. That's going to be a grand thing. Your home and your mother is going to be a huge thing for you in 2020. So if you have haven't been contacting your mother or talking with your mother, yeah, it's a great time to go ahead and try to mend that relationship, talk to your mom, you know, and try to see what's going on with your mom. Because right now, I just feel like for some of you guys, your mom, they need you and you need your mom. So you guys need to really connect on that level. But overall, Libra, I just see you guys having a great month. You know, your career is looking pretty good. If you're looking to do a promotion or want to be promoted in some type of way, put in for it, because Jupiter is influencing that house. And I can definitely tell you that there's a great chance that you will be promoted, or, you know, actually working for yourself. This is the year for entrepreneurship for lots of people, and you happen to be one of those people, Libra. So working from home can also be a grand theme for you in 2020. Just really taking on that leadership type activity. This year, Libra, you are the initiator. You will be initiating things. This cardinal energy in your chart, of course, you're going to be able to initiate things and get things done. People are going to be looking up to you, Libra, because you are the leader in 2020. Now, your challenges for 2020 is really just mending broken relationships and trying to somehow break away from tradition, but at the same token, standing your ground on what you truly believe in. So overall, I just see your month being absolutely fantastic in 2020, Libra. I wish you the best of luck. So Scorpio, Jupiter will be transiting your third house in 2020. It will occupy that house all year long. Third house represents communication, you know, early development. It also represents our electronic devices, you know, just short distance travel, you know, the travel that we make each day for work, you know, our commutes, you know, things of that nature, this short distance travel. So with Jupiter transiting this house, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, abundance, joy, and luck, when it comes into this house, you can be very lucky when it comes to electronic devices. You can like get your dream computer, or I mean your dream phone, or you know, your dream car. All of these things can actually be expanded for you in 2020, Scorpio. So maybe you get a lot of electronic devices in 2020, or maybe you got them for Christmas and they're just gonna take you over into 2020 and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I got this TV for Christmas, or I got this computer for Christmas. Is super awesome. And for some of you guys, if you have malefic aspects in your chart, you may lose some of those electronic devices, or you may break things, you know, like, why am I constantly breaking my phone screen? What is this all about? You know, so that could be expanded in 2020 for some of you guys, especially if you have malefic aspects. Those of you who have benefic aspects in your birth natal chart, you will definitely see the grand side of Jupiter, where you're starting to collect all these electronic devices and you're like, wow, I'm feeling some type of way right now, you know? So also with your communication, Scorpio, if you've been having trouble with communicating in 2019, where it probably was difficult for you to communicate how you really felt about things, because Scorpios tend to have this mysterious, reserved type personality. But in 2020, your communication skills will definitely improve a lot. You know, people will be like listening to what you gotta say, or if it is malefic aspects there. Now, of course, it can change the course of things, but we're just gonna talk about the benefics, okay? With benefic aspects here, you're gonna be communicating very well, and people are going to understand what you're talking about. They're gonna love it. Okay, they're gonna love it. The third house also aspects the ninth house. The ninth house of higher learning, the house of travel, foreign things, you know, like traveling abroad, you know, and also higher education, philosophical views. This is the house that Jupiter naturally rules. So Jupiter will be looking at this house also. It will be granting some blessings in this house as well. So a lot of you guys will definitely be doing a lot of soul searching. A lot of you guys will definitely be looking at your religious practices, you know, your spiritual practices, and maybe a lot of you guys maybe start studying, you know, different religions. You know, maybe you guys are going to be a little bit more open to learning different things. You know, this is mutable energy, so you guys will have this adaptability quality about yourself, you know, when it's your mind is going to be like far more open. You know, Scorpio is a fixed sign, and to be in this mutable energy, you're going to be able to adapt to your surroundings a lot easier than you would have before, you know, when you're actually when your fixed energy is more activated. Okay, so you guys are going to really be a little bit open to change and different things, you know, when it comes to religion or education or other people's views, you know, just not thinking that what you're saying is right and what they're saying is wrong, what you believe is correct, what they believe is wrong. No, you're just gonna actually be open and know that, you know, nothing is ever wrong and nothing is ever right. It's just all about moments, basically. So you guys will definitely do a lot of soul searching. Your 12th house is also activated, so definitely a lot of service unto men, you know, they're doing a lot of service. Spirituality is going to be pretty big for you in 2019, but your grand theme for 2019 is going to actually be communication, and just, you know, communicating with others and just being able to feel free to communicate and not really feeling like no one's gonna listen. I think it's gonna be a grand theme for you in 2020. Also for the service, you know, your work, your routine, you'll be communicating better there. Also, your co-workers will notice that, hey, my Scorpio friend got their doggone confidence up with their communication. So you'll definitely be heard. If you have something to say, others will definitely hear you in 2020, especially at work. Also, with the 12th house being activated, you know, isolation, spirituality, and things of that nature, a lot of you guys may actually move into just kind of like thinking about some mystical things, you know, something magical, you know, I don't know, like maybe you guys will be thinking about 12th house related things, you know, and 12th house is all about mysticism, you know, illusions, delusions, just, you know, asylums, you know, like jails or things like that. Some of you guys may actually, you know, volunteer to help out at certain places, you know, like jails, like different facilities, you know, like just a lot of different things that you guys could possibly be doing. Maybe you will be someone that go and speak, you know, for, you know, be a speaker or be a guest speaker for, you know, people who are going through a difficult time, people who are, you know, assigned to different asylums and things of that nature, you know. So maybe you will be a mentor in 2020, but however, you're definitely going to be communicating, you're definitely going to be adapting to new ways of living your life and adapting to new ways of thinking in 2020. Now, the challenges that I see for you, Scorpio, in 2020 that you may face is actually only if there's malefic placements there, you know, like breaking a lot of things, you know, losing, misplacing a lot of things. So kind of like, you know, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of where you're putting things, and if you need to, write things down, because you can stand to forget a lot of things and it could be huge. Also, you stand to break a lot of things and that could be huge also. So make sure everything is insured. So that's going to be like pretty much the major challenges that I can see for you in 2020. Overall, Scorpio, it looks like you're gonna have a fantastic year, and I wish you the best of luck in 2020. Sagittarius, hi Sagittarius. Jupiter will be transiting your 2nd house in 2020, and it will be there all year long. The 2nd house is the house of self-worth. It is the house of material wealth and gains. It is the house of our earned income through our jobs, our careers, and things of that nature. So this is a grand place for Jupiter to be transiting. So Jupiter is all about luck, expansion, abundance, and all those great things. So to have it here in your 2nd house, your material wealth can definitely be expanded. You can see a lot of great things from here. Nice houses, nice cars, nice furnishings, things that really make you feel worthy in this society. A lot of great things happening for you when it comes to material wealth. So also the second house also aspects the 8th house. The 8th house is all about other people's money, inheritances, anything that's dealing with taboo type things, transformations. So I just feel like it's going to be a grand transformation for you in your second house, where you're gonna like just start, you know, producing all of this extra income, or some sort. You just have all this extra income and you're like, oh my god, I'm so happy, this is just great. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of you guys are gonna be actually gaining a lot of income through passive income type situations or job settings, where it actually could come through entrepreneurship to a certain extent, because your 5th house is also going to be activated. And with your 5th house being activated, there's fun and entertainment, dating, and things of that nature. So you can actually meet someone who actually spoil you with all these great things that, you know, are related to the second house, with cars and money and houses and clothing and all these great things, because the 5th house is all about our dating life. It's all about our fun, our entertainment, and all that great things, all those great things, our children. So also your children can also be a blessing to you in 2020. Those of you who have older children, they may actually, you know, want to do things for you, like, hey mom, let me take you and buy you this, you know, mom, I want to do this for you, you did all this for me, I want to do this for you. So blessings can actually come through your children also in 2020. Also, you can be a blessing to your children in 2020, but I definitely feel like a lot of you Sagittarius people are going to be gaining a lot of things through other people that are related to the second house. Money, possessions, and things of that nature are going to come through other people. Also, your 11th house is also activated, which means that, you know, your hopes and wishes are all coming true. So your children, I don't know why it just keeps popping in my mind, you guys, but children keeps coming in my mind. So something with your children are going to be, the person that I'm talking to in this video, your children are going to be a major theme in 2020. They're going to do something to make you really proud. They're just really gonna make you really proud. You're gonna, maybe because they're gonna be like doing all these great things, being able to do all these great things for you, you're just gonna feel really proud of your children. Because your 11th house, your hopes and wishes are being granted to you in 2020. So your hopes and wishes of a parent, of course, is to see your children to succeed and to do great in life and to be happy. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, a lot of you Sagittarius, you're gonna see that in 2020. And also for yourself, you're gonna really feel, you know, very empowered. You're gonna feel really happy. You're gonna feel really successful in 2020, because the second house represents our self-worth, and you're gonna feel really worthy, and it's going to be expanded, you know, you're gonna feel so blessed, and you're gonna your abundance is going to be overwhelmingly wonderful in 2020. Now, of course, you guys, if you have malefic aspects in your chart, then things will actually be changed. They'll be altered just a little bit, and they will go a whole nother direction. But however, whichever, if you have benefic aspects to Jupiter in your birth natal, then of course you're going to see the grand, beautiful side of Jupiter. So with that being said, Sagittarius, I wish you the very best of luck in 2020. Capricorn, Jupiter will be transiting your first house in 2020. Jupiter will be in your first house all year long. Now, this is absolutely wonderful for you, Capricorn. The first house sets the tone for all 12 houses. So to have Jupiter here in your first house, it is going to influence every house. Every sector of your life is going to be influenced by Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of luck, abundance, of philosophical views, just luck in general, you know, just wonderful blessings is what Jupiter represents in our chart. And to have it in your first house, it really helps you to have a wonderful or beautiful expansion of ego. So you have to be careful with that, Capricorns, because your ego may be inflated just a little bit, and you're like, you know what, look at me, because you know Capricorn is a sign of status, a sign of legacy, a sign of just authoritative, you know, authority, a sign of authority. And having all of that here is like, okay, you know, now you got Jupiter here expanding that for you abundantly. You're like, wow, look at me, you know. So definitely a little bit of ego inflation will be going on here. The first house, also look at the seventh house of your spouse, you know, relationships, other people in your life, your partnerships, you know, things of that nature. So a lot of you guys who are not married, you may actually be thinking about getting married, or there could be a proposal on the horizon for you guys. A lot of you guys would definitely also be looking at your home, because you know all of your angular houses will actually be activated, because of the simple fact in astrology, the angular houses, they kind of like all work together. You know, your first, your fourth, your seventh, and your 10th house, they're all working together to create this one thing, you understand? So like your home life will also be affected, you know, actually all of your houses, Capricorn, because first of all is in your first house. But these are the main houses that I'm gonna just kind of like point out for you, where you're gonna actually see the most results of Jupiter in these houses. So it's gonna be your first, fourth, seventh, and 10th house. Your fourth house is the house of home, tradition, and your mom. So a lot of you guys will actually be thinking a lot about your mom, or doing a lot for your mom. Your mom is going to be of great or grand importance in your life of 2020. Your mom may actually move in with you guys, or you know, or you may move in with your mom. You know, there's a lot of different things that can actually take place. A lot of you guys may be doing a lot of renovations to your home, or buying a new home, or moving away from your home somehow or some way. A lot of you guys can actually be working from home, you know, because the 10th house is also activated, the house of careers. This is your house, Capricorn. You rule, you dominate the 10th house. So a lot of you guys will be working from home. A lot of you guys will actually be being promoted in your career, or maybe you become like the authoritative figure in your career. You know, if you are working on a job, you know, promotions are definitely on the horizon for you Capricorn people. So of course you definitely want to put in for any promotions. You definitely want to take care of your mom, you know, stay in contact with your mom, make sure everything is good with your mom. I mean, because you know, it's just like really important. For some of you guys, it could be your father, but in all actuality, the fourth house usually represents the mother. So definitely being big on tradition, being big on taking care of your mom is going to be something like that's going to be very important for you in 2020. But most of all, focusing on yourself is going to be the grand theme, and on how people view you, how people see you, and how you and what image you project to the world. So a lot of you guys may go and change yourself. You know, you may do some a lot of you guys may kind of like, you know, go through some transitions of changing your hair. You may change your makeup or your wardrobe or things of that nature, you know, just to kind of like give yourself a new start, a new change for 2020. Of course, that could be part of your New Year's resolution, or whatever the case may be. But overall, you know, Capricorn, it looks like you're gonna have a grand year. Capricorns usually go through a lot of difficult trials and tribulation with that Saturn influence. But overall, you guys, I just really see you having a grand year in 2020. Now, of course, every time we have something great going on in our lives, something is going to come and kick us in the butt to bring us back to reality, because Saturn will be moving into your second house in 2020 also, which is going to kind of like put a little stagnation when it comes to your earned income. But I'm not going to talk about Saturn in my videos, but if you guys want to see that, please let me know down in the comment section. But Saturn will be in your second house, and it will take some type of effect on you. In the beginning, you're going to be feeling all high and all great about your, you know, your confidence and your self-worth and things and how they're going for you. But then Saturn comes in there and kind of like, you know, bring us back to reality, and just kind of like, you know, ground us and teach us, you know, lessons that, you know, hard lessons that are actually karmic lessons. But however, whichever, Capricorn, I'm happy that you guys have Jupiter in the first house influencing all of your houses, and it will be influencing all of your houses throughout the whole year. When you find yourself feeling like things are kind of like going to the left, just rely on your philosophical views, your philosophical teachings, you know, what you've learned. Stand on your faith and just keep moving forward. And of course, Capricorn, you already know how to do that. I wish you the best of luck in 2020, Capricorn. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Jupiter will be transiting your 12th house in 2020. The 12th house is all about mysticism, spirituality. It is about isolation, delusions, illusions, asylums, jails, you know. It's this mystical house that really is a house that is very difficult to understand in astrology, but is one of those houses that are not the most favorable houses in our astrological system. Kind of similar to the 8th house to a certain extent, but you know, they have their differences. Now, Jupiter is the planet of luck, expansion, abundance, and just philosophical views and things of that nature. So I can definitely see your spirituality being expanded somehow or some way, you know, being more affiliated with the occult to a certain extent. I feel like some of you guys may be kind of like looking towards that way in 2020. A lot of you guys may actually be thinking about, you know, just studying something a little bit more different than you have been studying as in terms of religion or spiritual practices. You may want to, you know, learn something new. I think that's going to be a grand thing for you in 2020 is spirituality, because the 12th house also looks at the 6th house, your work and your service. Also, it looks at your 9th house. Your 9th house is the house of higher learning, philosophical views, religion, your dominant parent teachings, just views, higher education, you know, college, just religion, politics, and things of that nature are all seen from the 9th house. So I definitely can see you guys really learning a new craft, or learning that's dealing with spirituality, you know, learning a new way of coping or of motivating or of inspiring yourself. I feel like 2019 could have been a somewhat difficult year for you, where you just feel like, okay, what you have been doing is just not really working for you anymore. And so I feel like a lot of you guys in 2020 are actually going to be on the search of finding a new way to cope with things when they happen in your life, you know, finding a new way to inspire yourself to keep moving forward. With this 12th house energy, you're definitely going to be a huge thing for you, spirituality. Now, if you have malefic placements in your chart, you want to be careful. Maybe some of you guys may actually deal with some of the things that's affiliated with the 12th house, like asylums, you know, jails, and just delusions and illusions. Some of those things can be activated. So, you know, you definitely don't want to do anything that's unlawful. You don't want to do anything that can actually, you know, come out and get you in trouble, or put you in a situation that you just, you know, a situation of isolation, because the 12th house does rule isolation. So you want to be careful in 2020 with, you know, doing anything wrong. You definitely want to do everything that you know to do that is right, being honest with the people that you're affiliated with. Also just being honest with yourself in 2020, you know, really practicing, you know, spirituality, or just really falling back on your roots, you know, what you were taught in church or your religion or whatever the case may be. Actually going to church a little bit more may be something that will definitely help you out and help you to stay on the right track in 2020, because 12th house is just a difficult house, you guys. I'm sorry, but it's a difficult house to have Jupiter, the planet of abundance, luck, and expansion in. But somehow, you know, like, even if Jupiter is giving off its best results in the 12th house, the only thing that I can truly see that to be the most amazing thing is just being really big on spirituality and actually being of service to the people of the world, you know, just being of service to those who are around you. And I think that is a grand scheme, you know, for a grand thing for you guys. Actually, also your communication house will also be activated, the 3rd house. So a lot of you guys will definitely be, you know, communicating much better, a lot. You guys will actually actually be commuting. Be careful on your commute to work, because a lot of you guys probably already commute back and forth to your job, because third house do represent your short distance travel, your day-to-day routine, your day-to-day travel basically. And so a lot of you guys would definitely be careful with your phones, talking on your phones or texting on your phones when you're traveling, you know, because actually that can be something that can actually land you in a 12th house type situation, you know, like getting tickets or something while traveling. So just be careful with that. You actually want to do everything that's right in 2020. You always want to do what's right, but 2020 especially, because although luck is on your side, you can still, you know, end up in some bad situations. So you definitely want to make sure you're doing the best that you can, because if there are malefic aspects to Jupiter in your birth natal, you would definitely see some of those, you know, things that you don't want to see happening for you in 2020. Now, benefic aspects, you would definitely, you know, maybe you get stopped by the police, but then you don't get a ticket. So you're like, oh my God, I was so lucky. So you can have situations like that, but just try to avoid them altogether in 2020. Okay, so basically with that being said, you guys, your challenges for 2020 is basically just dealing with 12th house issues, you know, like having, you know, dealing with delusions and illusions of things. Just kind of like, you know, don't rely so much on your imagination. Don't, you know, for basically, in all actuality, you have to learn to separate intuition from imagination in 2020, and just basically, you know, just kind of like look at things for what they truly are and not what you wish for them to be in 2020. But overall, I just see you guys just kind of like, you know, transforming into a new spiritual way of motivating yourself and inspiring yourself. So whatever comes your way, you are the innovators, you are the rebels, you are the mystic eyes, and you can see the good in all things. So I definitely see things no matter what is going on in your life of 2020. I definitely can see you guys just really, you know, coming through it and rising above it all and having a wonderful year in 2020. And I wish you the best of luck in 2020, Aquarius. These Pisces. Hi Pisces. Jupiter will be transiting your 11th house in 2020. It will occupy the 11th house for an entire year. This is an amazing house for Jupiter to occupy, Pisces. So congratulations to you. The 11th house is the house of our hopes, our wishes, our dreams come true in this house. So what better planet to have in this house? What better planet than Jupiter? Jupiter is the planet of luck, expansion, and abundance. It's amazingly placed in a wonderful house. Jupiter also rules Pisces. It's one of the co-rulers of Pisces. So, how cool is that, Pisces? Looks like you have luck all around you. 11th house also relates to groups and organizations and things of that nature. So a lot of you guys will actually have new groups, you know, that you're affiliated in 2020. You know, maybe it started in 2019, but it's going to actually take on a grand theme in 2020. So groups and organizations, social organizations are going to be a huge major theme for you in 2020. Now, another thing about Jupiter being placed in this house of hopes and wishes, a lot of your dreams will actually come true. Now, there's malefic aspects going on in your birth natal chart, then a lot of things that you're hoping and wishing for, they may not all come through for you, but nevertheless, I think a lot of great things are going to be happening for you, Pisces, in 2020. The 11th house also looks at the 5th house. The 5th house is the house of fun, the house of dating, the house of our children or children, you know, it's just amazing, fun, entertainment house. So with this house being aspected, this is going to give you a lot of joy, Pisces. I just feel like Pisces had a really difficult year in 2019. And I mean, just not overall just like completely difficult, but I think they just kind of like went through a lot of transformations in 2019. And I feel like in 2020, this is where Pisces is really going to start putting the pieces back together and just kind of like putting their life back together and just really seeing the fruition of all of their work, you know, all of their dedication and just hard work just actually coming into fruition, and they can see things happening for them. I feel like a lot of Pisces people, rising moon or sun sign people, were actually faced with some difficulties in 2019 that changed them for the better. And 2020, the whole world will get to see how wonderful you are, and you're definitely going to be out there dating and having fun. And also for some of you guys, there's a baby on the horizon. I don't know, but for some odd reason, there's a baby somewhere. Somebody, I mean, of course there are babies everywhere, but there's a baby for someone. It's just really a baby comes to my mind for these Pisces people, and so congratulations to you for that. Also, you guys, a lot of great things. Your self-worth is definitely increasing in 2020. I feel like in 2019, a lot of Pisces people, like, they didn't feel really worthy, but you know, I feel like they lost, you know, they lost their, a lot of Pisces lost their way in 2019, but I feel like they're bringing it all back in 2020. The planet of luck, abundance, and expansion is really coming, and it's going to really dominate in your life. It's actually going to be in all the succeeding houses, all the fixed houses. So I just feel like you guys are going to be fixed. You're going to be fixated on earning your own income, and it's going to happen for you because the second house is activated. Material gains and wealth is going to happen for you, Pisces, in 2020, because that house is going to have Jupiter influence there. Your 8th house of transformations, the 8th house is also other people's money, so you will gain through other people also, you know, so it's going to be transformations for you, but you're going to be transforming in the best of ways. You're going to be transforming in the 11th house, and this is the house of our hopes, our wishes, groups and organizations. So those of you who are affiliated with groups and organizations, do not walk away from that group. Remain a part of those groups, because this is where you're gonna find the most joy. This is where you're gonna actually transform your life. And this is where your hopes and your wishes are actually going to come true, because you're gonna meet the right person in the group that is going to actually open so many doors of opportunity for you. 2020 looked absolutely fantastic for you, Pisces, and you deserve it because you had a difficult year in 2019. Now, your challenges for 2019 is really just remaining true to yourself. Just not, you know, and learning to say no. You know, like being a part of a group or having friends and you know, being affiliated with so many different, you know, opportunities. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. You know, don't overwhelm yourself with activities and to the point where you just like, you know, I just can't do this. You know, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. It's okay to say no. So that's going to be a challenge for you in 2020, but nonetheless, you will definitely rise above it and you will shine like the diamond that you are. So overall, I just see success on the horizon for you, Pisces. Success in so many areas of your life, especially when it comes to your hopes and your wishes. So I wish you the best of luck in 2020, Pisces. And with that being said, you guys, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And until the next time, you guys, I wish you so much love, peace, and so many wonderful blessings. Bye.